In this lecture, we are going to study about the inverse Laplace transform. Now, to find the inverse Laplace transform, we use the partial fraction method. Now, partial fraction plays a very important role in calculating the inverse of Laplace transform. So, if we have distinct poles in our Laplace, that is, as we have seen in this given numerical, xs is equal to 2 upon s minus 1 into s minus 2. So we have two poles, one at s is equal to 1 and the other at s is equal to 2. So if we want to calculate the inverse Laplace transform, firstly we will have to find the partial fraction of this term. Xs is equal to 2 upon s minus 1 into s minus 2. That we can utilize by putting a upon s minus 1 plus b upon s minus 2. If we multiply the denominator s minus 1 into s minus 2 with the right sided a upon s minus 1 and b upon s minus 2, subsequently we will be getting 2 is equal to a s minus 2 plus b s minus 1. If we put s is equal to 1, we will be getting a is equal to minus 2, and if we put s is equal to 2, we will get b is equal to 2. Now, when we get the values of a is equal to minus 2 and b is equal to 2, we can put these values in our equation 1. Now, after putting the values, what we get is xs is equal to minus 2 upon s minus 1 plus 2 upon s minus 2. Now, this equation we can also write as, we can take the minus 2 common, 1 upon s minus 1, we can take 2 outside and 1 upon s minus 2. Now, as we all know, if we have e to the power minus at ut, then its Laplace transform will be 1 upon s plus a. So, if I want to calculate the inverse of 1 upon s minus 1, it will be equal to e to the power t ut. Similarly, if I want to calculate the inverse Laplace transform of 1 upon s minus 2, it will be e to the power 2t ut. Now, if I take the inverse of this equation, we can say that s will be converted into xt, and minus 2, since it is a constant, we can put it as it is, and we can put the inverse of 1 upon s minus 1, that as we all know is e to the power t ut. So we can put e to the power t ut in this equation. Similarly, for the other expression 2 we can put as it is. For 1 upon s minus 2, we can calculate e to the power 2t ut. Now, this method was basically for distinct poles. Now, suppose if we have got multiple poles. So, in that case, we will be using this formula, lambda upon r minus k is equal to 1 upon k factorial into d to the power k upon ds to the power k into s minus pi whole to the power r into xs, and putting the values of s is equal to pi. Accordingly, the expressions for the Laplace will be lambda 1 upon s minus p1 plus lambda 2 upon s minus pi whole square plus so on. Now, this expression can be very well understood by this numerical. We have been given xs is equal to 2s plus 1 upon s plus 2 whole cube. Now, here we have the pi or the pole that is equal to 2. Now, it is consisting of multiple poles. Multiple poles means that we have the same pole there. Okay, so we have a multiple value. that we can see that this pole is 3 times there. Okay, so we have the pi value is equal to -2. Okay, now k is equal to r minus I. The k that is given over here, it is represented by r minus I. Okay, where ri is the order of the poles, that is 3. So r is 3. I is the value which we will be changing, and it will range from 1 to 3. So subsequently, firstly we will be putting I is equal to 1, then I is equal to 2, then I is equal to 3 to get the values of lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda 3 subsequently. So to find the value of lambda r minus k, and keeping in values I is equal to 1, r is equal to 3 and k is equal to r minus I, since we are having this formula, so k will be 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. Now putting these values, we in this formula we will be having lambda 3 minus 2 is equal to 1 upon k factorial we have. So instead of k we can put 2, since we have k is equal to 2. Now then we have d to the power k upon ds to the power k. So here we have k value is 2, so we will be having d square upon ds square. Now then we will be multiplying with s minus pi whole to the power 3. Now here the value of pi is equal to 2, so we can put the value of pi. Now since it is s is equal to 2, the pi will be minus 2. Okay, here it is written 2, you can change it to minus 2. So accordingly, if I put the value minus 2 over here, it will result in s plus 2 whole cube. Okay, now into xs is 2s plus 1 upon s plus 2 whole cube. Now I can put the value of xs over here, and we can calculate this value for s is equal to minus 2, as I have previously told that pi is equal to minus 2. Now to calculate this, we can see that we can cut this value of s plus 2 to the power cube and s plus 2 to the power cube. So what is left is d square upon ds square 2s plus 1. Okay, now if we double differentiate 2s plus 1, it will yield us 0. So 0 into any of the factorial or any of the number will give us a 0. So our lambda 1 that is calculated is 0. Next we are going to put I is equal to 2. Now if we put I is equal to 2, then k is equal to 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. Then according to our formula, lambda r minus k, that is 3 minus 1 will be equal to lambda 2, and for k we are going to put 1 upon 1 factorial, d upon ds s plus 2 whole cube into 2s plus 1 upon s plus 2 whole cube. Now for this again we are putting s is equal to minus 2, since the value of pole is minus 2. Now it will be, if we differentiate it, these value, before differentiating we can cut these value s plus 2 whole cube and this s plus 2 whole cube, and if we differentiate 2s plus 1, it will give us 2. Okay, so in this value there is no need to put s is equal to minus 2, since we are not having any term of s. Okay, so lambda 2 will be equal to 2. Now for the third one, that is I is equal to 3. For I is equal to 3, k is equal to 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, so this will yield lambda r minus k, that is 3 minus 0 is equal to lambda 3, and it will give us 1 upon 0 factorial into d to the power 0 upon ds to the power 0 into 2 plus s plus 2 whole cube into 2s plus 1 upon s plus 2 whole cube, keeping the values of s is equal to minus 2. So s plus 2 whole cube and s plus 2 whole cube cancels each other. This d to the power 0 upon ds to the power 0, it doesn't yield anything. Since it is to the power 0, it means 1. And since it is 0 factorial over here, it means that 0 factorial is the value is 1. So after putting the values of s in this equation, 2s plus 1, if I put the value of s is equal to minus 2 in this equation, it will give me minus 3. Since 2 into minus 2 will be minus 4 plus 1, and it will give me minus 3. So my expression would change into xs is equal to 2 upon s plus 2 whole square minus 3 upon s plus 2 whole cube. Okay, now we have utilized the partial fraction method for multiple poles, and we have calculated xs is equal to 2 upon s plus 2 whole square minus 3 upon s plus 2 whole cube. Now if we have to find its inverse, we already know that e to the power minus at ut is 1 upon s plus a, and if we multiply a term t into e to the power minus at ut, it will give us 1 upon s plus a whole square. And if we multiply t to the power n into e to the power minus at ut, then its Laplace transform is given as n factorial upon s plus a to the power n plus 1. Now if we want to calculate the inverse of 1 upon s plus 2 whole square, it will be according to this formula, this representation t into e to the power minus at ut. We can say that this will be equal to t into e to the power minus 2t minus 2t. Why? Because here the value of a will be 2. Okay, so e to the power minus 2t into ut. Similarly, Laplace inverse of 1 upon s plus 2 whole cube we can put in this formula. Okay, now since we are not having any thing with the multiplication of 2 in there, so since n factorial is just a constant, we can put it over here. So 1 upon 2 factorial into, since it is 3, so it is this represents n, so accordingly 3 we will get after n plus 1, so accordingly n will be equal to 2. So t to the power 2 into e to the power minus 2t. Now 2 is from here, e to the power minus 2t into ut. Now we can put these representations in this equation. So for xs we can write the inverse xt. For 2 into 1 upon s plus 2 whole square, we can write 2 into t into e to the power minus 2t ut, then minus and 3 upon 2 factorial. Now 2 factorial is basically 2 only, so 3 upon 2 t square e to the power minus 2t ut. So this is our inverse Laplace for multiple poles. Okay, now the third is for complex roots. Now for complex roots calculation, there are two methods. Now firstly, if for this we have to understand through a numerical only. So if we are given xs is equal to s upon s square plus 2s plus 2, so we can write it as a upon s plus 1 plus j1 plus b upon s plus 1 minus j1. So for finding these values of s plus 1 plus j1, we can use this formula of minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So if we are going to put the values of b, a and c in this equation, we can calculate the values, and subsequently, since it is your simple poles, So we can calculate the values of a is equal to this and b is equal to this. So from this we can get that the value of a will be conjugate of b, or the value of b will be actually the conjugate of a. And subsequently we can get the value keeping we can find the inverse by utilizing your formula of 1 upon s plus a, that is e to the power minus at ut. Now this is a type of solution, but we can also find it the solutions of this type of problems becomes very complex. So there is an alternative method. According to alternative method, what we can do is we can just factorize the lower half. Okay, so for factorizing it, we can do is s is equal to s upon s plus 2s plus 1 plus 1. We can write this equation in this form. So we can write s upon, so this s square plus 2s plus 1, we can say that this is nothing but s plus 1 whole square. Okay, and this 1, if I put a square of 1, it will also result in 1. Okay, so we can put that s upon s plus 1 whole square plus 1. So s, if I add a 1 to the numerator and I subtract a 1 from it, it again yields me s. So I can write that s plus 1 minus 1 in the numerator, and from the denominator we have already put s plus 1 whole square plus 1. So if I put s plus 1 upon s plus 1 whole square plus 1 minus 1 upon s plus 1 whole square plus 1. So accordingly, if we have found out the Laplace of sine omega t ut, it was given to us omega upon s square plus omega square. So these forms are basically of your sinusoidal or cosine signals that we have found out previously. So if I multiply e to the power minus at sine omega t ut, then we will be having omega upon s plus a whole square plus omega square. And similarly, if e to the power minus at cos omega t ut, then its Laplace transform will be s plus a upon s plus a whole square plus omega square. Now the first value, that is s plus 1 upon s plus 1 whole square plus 1, it is resembling to this value of e to the power minus at cos omega t, considering that the value of a is 1. Okay, so I can say that the inverse of s plus 1 upon s plus 1 whole square plus 1 will be equal to e to the power minus at, e to the power minus at, where the value of a is 1. So if I put the value of 1 in this e to the power minus at cos omega t ut, I can say that e to the power minus t. And similarly, the value of omega is 1 over here. So I can say that it is equal to cos t, since omega is 1, into ut. So s plus 1 upon s plus 1 whole square plus 1 will yield e to the power minus t cos t into ut. Similarly, 1 upon s plus 1 whole square plus 1 is resembling the value of omega upon s plus 1 s plus a whole square plus omega square. Now accordingly, 1 upon s plus 1 whole square will plus 1 will be represented as e to the power minus t sin t into ut. So the Laplace inverse of 1 upon s plus 1 whole square plus 1 will be e to the power minus t sin t ut. So I can put, or I can calculate the inverse values, and it will be xt is equal to e to the power minus t cos t minus e to the power minus t sin t whole into ut. Okay, so this will be our inverse Laplace values of the complex roots. Thank you.